Kia ora. In today's news, two relatively inexperienced women have made it into John Key's cabinet. Both Hekia Parata, who's now 7th in the lineup, and Amy Adams, who just makes it into cabinet, came into Parliament just 3 years ago. Ms Parata gets education and Ms Adams gets internal affairs. Ms Adams admits when John Key's name came up on her screen last Friday, there were a few anxious moments before he told her she was being promoted. And the Prime Minister says that his newly announced cabinet lineup is likely to remain until 2014, but he's making no promises beyond that. Stephen Joyce and Paula Bennett also received promotions. They'll be part of the government's new front bench. John Key says he's not a great fan of reshuffles, indicating the lineup is unlikely to change. Wellington Police believe the fatal assault on journalist Phillip Cottrell on the weekend was an unprovoked attack. Mr Cottrell was walking home from his job at Radio New Zealand when he was attacked in the central city and left unconscious. He later died in hospital from his injuries. Detective Senior Sergeant Scott Miller says Mr Cottrell was a very quiet-natured person. An alcohol addiction expert believes the powerful liquor lobby may have been behind the alleged suppression of a report on public attitudes to booze. The Health Sponsorship Council survey revealed that most of us want tougher restrictions on the sale of alcohol. But the survey was never published. That meant MPs deciding on the new alcohol reform law never saw the survey. Psychiatrist Professor Doug Selman told New Zealand's Rima the vast amount of money involved seems to have had a paralysing influence on government. A cyber safety organisation has welcomed a Law Commission report that recommends new laws to prevent cyberbullying. It suggested law changes that will deal with crimes including harassment, intimidation, defamation and breach of privacy in the digital age. NetSafe's Director Martin Cocker says the changes will enable people to take swift action when there's been a clear breach of the law. Overseas, and for the first time, the world's biggest polluters have signed up to a global pact on climate change. China, India and Brazil have put their signatures to an agreement for a roadmap that lines 190 countries up on the same page. The accord will be legally binding and applicable to all nations, not just the industrial ones that signed up to Kyoto. A new fund will allow billions to be channeled to developing countries to help combat the effects of climate change, and there'll be incentives for new green technology. And staying overseas, Britain's Deputy Prime Minister says the country could be isolated and marginalised by David Cameron's refusal to buy into the treaty deal aimed at ending the euro debt crisis. The Liberal Democrat Party leader Nick Clegg has broken ranks with his Conservative partner over the move. He's bitterly disappointed by the outcome of the summit, and he rejects Mr Cameron's arguments that the veto was necessary to protect Britain's vital City of London financial services hub. Back home, and demolition on one of Christchurch's iconic hotels has started today. Mackay Lee's Demolition has been given the contract to pull down the Crown Plaza Hotel. It will be a conventional deconstruction that will take 27 weeks. Sonny Bill Williams is throwing his weight behind Northland's free meningococcal C vaccination programme. The rugby star is offering his support to the programme as it enters its final week. And finally, some good news. The Black Caps have made history by breaking a 26-year cricketing drought in Australia. New Zealand's won the second and final test in Hobart by 7 runs after rolling Australia for 233 in their second innings before tea on day 4. Doug Bracewell bowled the Black Caps to victory, taking 6 wickets in the second innings. That's all from me and the rest of the team here at Shine. Thanks for watching us. Do join us again soon. Ka kite anō.